A former transgender employee at Sam's Club publicly accused the company of harassment and being treated with disrespect during working hours. But instead of protecting the employee, Sam's Club took actions that sparked public outrage. What's more alarming is that this wasn't an isolated incident. This case is just the tip of the iceberg. The secrets hidden behind this brand may completely change the way you see it just a few minutes into the video. 1. Ruthless layoffs and a wave of labor exploitation lawsuits. In January 2018, Sam's Club employees across the U.S. arrived at work like any other day only to find the stores permanently closed. One employee in Houston told the Washington Post, "I showed up for my shift and the doors were locked. No warning, no info. Nobody said anything." In less than 24 hours, 63 locations were abruptly shut down, leaving over 10,000 workers jobless without any prior notice. For many, it wasn't just a financial blow, but a deep betrayal from a company they once trusted. Some were in the middle of their shifts, others had just clocked in the night before. Suddenly they were out of work with no severance, no next steps. But this wasn't the first time Sam's Club faced criticism for unfair labor practices. Since 2002, the company had been hit with a series of lawsuits spanning years accusing it of forcing employees to work overtime without pay, cutting lunch breaks, and manipulating time logs to avoid paying extra wages. A notable case in California saw hundreds of workers file a class action suit claiming they were regularly asked to work after their shifts or during breaks without compensation. The timekeeping system was allegedly rigged to omit these extra minutes, and when those unpaid minutes added up over weeks and months, the losses became massive. Eventually, the court ordered Sam's Club to pay $172 million in damages, a figure large enough to suggest this wasn't a system glitch, but a deliberate management tactic. What fueled public outrage even further was this: most affected employees were low-wage workers, immigrants, or people in economically vulnerable situations, groups with limited ability to fight back in a complex legal system. Daniel, a Guatemalan immigrant, shared that he didn't dare speak up for fear of deportation. "I have a family to support. When I lost my job, I couldn't pay rent that month." Many lacked the funds to hire a lawyer or didn't fully understand their rights, and so they stayed silent. Others, after being let go, had to take on multiple unstable manual jobs, often without insurance or any form of security. What they received in return was the cold shoulder of a system that prioritized profit over people. If a company can quietly strip its own employees of basic rights for years without being caught, how many similar practices are still happening hidden in plain sight? 2. Exposing a toxic and discriminatory workplace. In 2017, what seemed like a quiet lawsuit made people begin to question Sam's Club, the retailer long marketed as friendly, affordable, and aligned with working-class American values. The plaintiff was a transgender employee at a North Carolina store. But what she alleged wasn't about low wages or long shifts. It was worse harassment and gender discrimination within the company itself. According to a complaint filed by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC. The employee was called degrading names like "it" and "that thing" by colleagues' terms so dehumanizing they're chilling to read. She was also sexually harassed during work hours, and when she reported it to management, she wasn't protected. Instead, her shifts were juggled, minor mistakes were exaggerated as serious violations, and she was ultimately fired for poor performance. EEOC 2017. The lawsuit went to federal court and drew attention from LGBTQ+ advocacy groups. But what shocked people wasn't just the incident itself, it was Sam's Club's response: silence. No apology, no investigation, no policy change. They did what many big corporations do: stay quiet until the outrage fades. James R., a former customer service worker at a Florida Sam's Club, also spoke out after quitting. From the outside, everyone thinks it's a professional, well-run company that cares about employees. But inside, it's the opposite: hostile environment and different managers and staff treated like disposable tools. He described being pressured to work overtime without timely pay, erratic scheduling with no notice, and having complaints ignored. If you speak up too much, they'll punish you by giving you graveyard shifts or the heaviest tasks. This place only looks good from the parking lot. Inside, it's all exhaustion decay and disregard for people. If you're not part of management, you're practically invisible. James's story isn't unique. It echoes the experiences of countless silent workers who gave years of labor to a system that valued only profit. Worse, the culture of discrimination seemed embedded in the company's DNA, even reaching the top levels. In 2015, then CEO Rosalind Brewer made headlines when she said she preferred working with vendors who had diverse leadership teams, not just white men. A perfectly reasonable stance in the 21st century. Yet, it sparked an online backlash with people accusing her of reverse racism, demanding her resignation, and launching the hashtag #BoycottRacist Sam's Club. The incident divided public opinion. Some praised Brewer's courage, while others revealed how deeply some resisted change and diversity. If a CEO can be vilified simply for promoting inclusion, how can ordinary employees trust? They'll be protected against discrimination. And if those who speak up leave in silence, how many other truths are still buried beneath the facade of low prices and friendly service? 3. Selling counterfeit and unauthorized goods and getting sued for deceiving customers. What happened to the transgender employee wasn't just a symptom of a toxic workplace. It revealed something far more alarming, a corporate culture of concealment and evasion of responsibility. And once a company chooses to ignore justice internally, deceiving customers externally becomes only a matter of time. In fact, Sam's Club has been exposed multiple times for selling counterfeit or unauthorized products, causing a stir among consumers and forcing major brands to take legal action to protect their reputations. In 2016, premium bicycle brand Trek discovered their bikes being sold at Sam's Club with deep discounts of up to $100 despite having no distribution agreement with the retailer. Trek immediately filed a lawsuit asserting that those bikes didn't meet warranty or quality assurance standards, and that their unauthorized appearance at Sam's Club constituted brand infringement and customer deception. Sam's Club gave a vague explanation, claiming they had sourced the goods from third-party suppliers, a familiar tactic used to deflect legal liability. But the statement only raised more concern among consumers. Were the products they bought at Sam's Club truly legitimate? Not long after the Trek case, another major player stepped in, this time the Italian luxury fashion house Fendi. In 2006, Fendi discovered that some of its handbags, normally priced at up to $925, were being sold at Sam's Club for just $295. The nearly 70% price difference wasn't just suspicious, it strongly suggested counterfeit or gray market goods. Fendi promptly sued Walmart Sam's Club's parent company, accusing it of copyright infringement, brand dilution, and serious damage to its global image. One might assume the Trek and Fendi cases were isolated incidents. But another scandal in the beauty industry gave consumers real cause for concern. An internal investigation by online retail watchdogs found that counterfeit unverified cosmetics had been listed for sale on Sam's Club's website, often at irresistible prices. Numerous customers later reported allergic reactions, skin irritation, or suspicions that the products had been diluted with poor quality ingredients. On platforms like Reddit, Twitter, and beauty groups on Facebook, users began sharing negative experiences and warning others to steer clear. Though Sam's Club quickly removed the questionable items and refused to comment further, the damage to customer trust was already done. Repeated lawsuits from major brands, evasive corporate responses, and ongoing controversies over product sourcing. These all point to a deeper issue. Sam's Club either lacks control over its supply chain or, worse, deliberately turns a blind eye for the sake of profit. And once consumer confidence in product authenticity is shaken, a pressing question emerges. Can shoppers believe anything? Sam's Club claims. 4. Healthcare. Fraud. Customers charged for prescriptions without their knowledge. In 2018, Sam's Club was thrust into the spotlight over a scandal involving prescription insurance fraud. Specifically, the company was accused of enrolling customers in an automatic refill program, charging them for repeat prescriptions without their consent. The issue wasn't just inconvenience, it was about money and legality. Sam's Club had billed these charges to Medicaid, the government health insurance program for low-income individuals, resulting in taxpayer-funded reimbursements for transactions that customers didn't authorize and in many cases never even received the medications. What's shocking is that this misconduct wasn't uncovered by an external watchdog, but by an internal whistleblower. A Sam's Club pharmacist filed a complaint under the False Claims Act and a law that allows individuals to report fraud that causes financial harm to the government. The resulting investigation led to a $825,000 settlement with Sam's Club. At the time, public reaction centered around one chilling question: if a retail giant can quietly siphon money from Medicaid, a federal healthcare program, what else might they be doing undetected? One of the affected customers was Linda Martinez, 67, a resident of Arizona. She discovered the scam when she received a notification from her insurance company stating her prescription had been paid for and was waiting for pickup at Sam's Club. "But I never reordered that prescription," she said in a local news interview. "I still had plenty of medication at home and my doctor hadn't issued a new one." After checking the details, Linda found that Sam's Club had automatically enrolled her in a recurring refill program, something she firmly insists she never consented to sign off on, or was even told about. Worse, her insurance funded by Medicaid had already been billed for the unnecessary medication. "I wasn't just tricked into receiving something I didn't need, they used my name to pull money from the insurance system. That's fraud," she said angrily. Most people don't fully understand how prescription billing works, and that lack of transparency was exploited. Customers weren't informed, didn't receive the medication, but were still entered into the system as if they had used the service. This wasn't just a technical error, as Sam's Club tried to claim it was a calculated, organized form of manipulation. The incident raised serious questions about the entire healthcare chain and the role of powerful retailers like Sam's Club in pharmaceutical distribution. When a company is accused of abusing public trust and government healthcare systems, how can anyone feel confident trusting them in day-to-day transactions? From medication fraud to product misrepresentation, Sam's Club appears to operate under a model where profit is placed above principle. And if even life-saving medication can be quietly manipulated behind the scenes, how many other tricks might consumers never discover? 5. The double your money back guarantee is a trust-baiting tactic. After the shocking revelations about how Sam's Club treats its employees, consumers began re-examining the very attractive perks they had once trusted, and found that not everything was as truthful as advertised. One of the promises that helped Sam's Club win over many customers was the bold claim 200% money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied with the quality of fresh food. In theory, this meant that if you bought a tray of meat, a bag of vegetables, or some fruit, and found it wasn't as fresh as promised, you would not only get your money back, but also receive a replacement item for free. It sounds generous. But in reality, many customers reported that they didn't receive the full 200% refund, and some even encountered resistance when simply trying to get back what they originally paid. Some said staff refused to provide a replacement product, citing vague reasons like the policy doesn't apply in this case. Others were asked to present the original receipt even though they had scanned their membership card during purchase. The inconsistency in how this promise was applied left many customers feeling misled. For the millions who paid to become Sam's Club members, the refund guarantee was supposed to be a safety net, but instead it turned out to be an overhyped marketing gimmick. Things got even more serious when the company was sued for false advertising. In 2018, a class action lawsuit was filed alleging that Sam's Club failed to honor the double money-back policy as publicly stated. The result, a $6 million payout to affected customers, another black mark in an already lengthy legal record. What alarmed people the most was this: if a simple promise like money back, if you're not satisfied, wasn't upheld, how many other commitments from Sam's Club were just empty slogans? Is consumer trust merely being exploited as a tool to drive sales rather than something Sam's Club genuinely respects? 6. cheap prices that cleverly mislead consumers. A retail brand that touts itself as offering the lowest prices might make you feel like you're saving money. But when you break down how Sam's Club sets its prices and bundles its value combos, many start to realize the low prices aren't really that low, especially if you don't do the math or aren't part of a large household that uses up products quickly. Most items at Sam's Club are sold in massive quantities or volumes, a nearly 6-liter jug of laundry detergent, a year's worth of seasoning in one container, or bulk packs of frozen meat. For individuals or small households, this is a psychological trap rooted in the more you buy, the more you save mindset. In reality, many of these items spoil quickly or degrade in quality before they're used up. Fresh food is the clearest example. A tray of salad or fruit bought at a discounted price often wilts or rots before it can be eaten. Jumbo-sized sauces or powdered spices sit unused and forgotten in the fridge, turning that $1 saved into $10 wasted. It doesn't end there. Many savvy shoppers have done the math. They compared unit prices of popular Sam's Club items with those at Target or Amazon, and the results were surprising. When broken down into smaller units, several products at Sam's Club turned out to be more expensive, especially if you couldn't finish them in time. Another key factor is the membership fee. Sam's Club's basic membership currently ranges from $50 to $110 per year. That means if you don't shop regularly, your total spending could effectively be inflated without you noticing, because a portion of it has already been deducted as a membership fee that doesn't always translate into real savings. In other words, the cheap prices that Sam's Club advertises are built on a system of perceived savings. You think you're getting more, but are you really using it all? You see a low bill, but did you include your membership cost? You feel smart for finding a deal, but maybe you've just fallen into an extremely clever business model. And once these pricing tactics are exposed, the next question is, are these very tactics the reason Sam's Club still lags behind its biggest competitor? 7. Low wages, poor benefits. Sam's Club lags far behind its main competitor. When it comes to working conditions and employee benefits, Sam's Club is constantly compared to its biggest rival Costco. The stark and troubling differences between the two don't just affect workers, they also directly impact the customer experience. Costco, known as a retail giant with a strong and sustainable corporate culture, pays its employees generous wages. For those who have been with the company for 4 to 5 years, the average hourly wage is nearly $19.50, not including periodic bonuses that can reach up to $2,000 per year. This not only helps retain employees but also motivates them to perform at their best, resulting in high-quality service and customer satisfaction. In contrast, Sam's Club pays employees with the same level of experience only around $12.50 an hour, nearly half of what Costco offers. On top of that, Sam's Club has no labor union to protect workers' rights, leaving employees vulnerable to unfavorable internal policies. Benefits such as health insurance, paid leave, and training opportunities are also far more limited compared to its competitor. Thomas G., a former warehouse employee who quit after 5 years, shared, "I never missed a day of work, but my pay wasn't enough to live on, and even taking time off was a struggle. Without a union, we had no one to turn to when issues came up. Whatever the manager said we had to follow, there was no room to negotiate." He added that many of his coworkers had to take on second jobs or moonlight as delivery drivers just to cover rent. Costco makes headlines with big bonuses. Sam's Club. "No one hears about us because there's nothing worth bragging about," he said bitterly. As a result, Sam's Club struggles to retain talented employees and fails to build a positive, cohesive workplace culture. High turnover inevitably affects service quality. Even if customers aren't aware of what's happening behind the scenes, they can feel the decline in their shopping experience. It's a vicious cycle. A poor work environment leads to disengaged employees, reduced service quality, disappoints customers, and ultimately, the brand's reputation suffers. While competitors like Costco continue to improve benefits and attract talent, Sam's Club remains stagnant with low pay and a lack of transparency in management, an undeniable weakness. So, if you're thinking about shopping at Sam's Club, ask yourself, is it worth supporting a system that respects neither its workers nor its customers? 8. Lack of transparency in return and refund policies. One of the most frustrating issues for Sam's Club customers is the lack of transparency in its return and refund policies. While many shoppers still believe in the slogan, hassle-free, refunds, the reality often falls far short. Numerous customers have reported being denied refunds or exchanges even when still within the allowable return window. The reasons given by Sam's Club are often vague: product not in original condition or outside the eligible period, even when customers had the receipt and claimed the item was unused. Worse, the company has tightened its return policy without prior notice to members, leaving many unpleasantly surprised when they bring items back to the store. This erodes trust and makes customers feel disrespected. The situation is even more problematic with high-value items like TVs or electronics. Sam's Club has failed to refund full purchase amounts even when customers provided complete proof of purchase. One user on AVS Forum shared that he bought a $200 TV from Sam's Club in March 2013. After discovering a defect within a month, he contacted customer service and was promised a replacement. But after multiple follow-ups, Sam's Club refused to refund or replace the item as initially promised. The incident sparked heated debate and complaints among loyal customers. All of this points to a troubling reality instead of creating a transparent and customer-friendly shopping environment. Sam's Club appears to be building a system of policies that customers simply can't fully trust. Are you sure you understand all the terms before you pay? Or are you unknowingly sacrificing peace of mind for a brand that lacks transparency? 9. Customer data exploited for cross-promotion. Beyond its issues with service quality return policies and working conditions, Sam's Club also faces serious allegations of privacy violations and improper data use. According to Marketing Dive, Sam's Club has been accused of sharing customers' shopping data with its parent company Walmart for the purpose of cross-promotional advertising and profit optimization. Your personal data and purchasing habits from everyday groceries to big-ticket items are being collected, analyzed, and used without your clear awareness. This allows Sam's Club and Walmart to zero in on your needs and drive sales, but it also leaves many customers feeling like they're being tracked and have lost control over their personal information. You may have experienced being recommended items nearly identical to things you previously searched for or purchased, making you curious or tempted to buy more even if you didn't actually need them. These product recommendation systems, based on shopping behavior, are designed with remarkable precision. Far from being just a convenience, they are powerful marketing tools that aim to extract every bit of your hidden purchasing potential. Often, this leads to spending beyond what you originally intended without even realizing it. What's more concerning is that Sam's Club and Walmart may be using this personal data without your explicit consent or without full transparency. Privacy, a basic consumer right, is being eroded more and more. Many customers have expressed confusion and frustration upon discovering that their information had been shared and used for advertising purposes without their knowledge or agreement. The real question is, can you truly trust Sam's Club to safeguard your data? Or are you unknowingly giving up control to a corporation that keeps its data practices in the shadows? As global regulations around data privacy become increasingly strict, these accusations severely damage Sam's Club's image. And they serve as a warning to consumers: be cautious and smart about sharing your personal data, and think carefully about where you place your trust when you shop. Do you believe the convenience of personalized product suggestions is worth trading away your privacy and information security? Sam's Club is not just an ordinary retail store, it also hides many serious issues. From a toxic work environment with clear discrimination to lawsuits over counterfeit sales and healthcare fraud, these reveal the true picture behind this billion-dollar brand. Its vague return policies and the double-your-money-back promise are just advertising tricks. The low prices don't actually save consumers money and can sometimes lead to waste. Low wages and poor benefits make it difficult for Sam's Club to retain employees, which directly impacts the quality of service customers receive. Moreover, the lack of transparency in how customer data is exploited further shakes consumer trust. Before you decide to shop here, think carefully. Is paying less worth risking your rights and personal safety? Be a smart consumer. Choose places that are transparent and respect you more. Don't let the tricks and dark secrets of Sam's Club leave you with regrets. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss upcoming engaging content. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. And remember, what we share in this video is for reference and analysis from multiple perspectives. Be sure to consult other sources to gain a fuller, more objective view.